You're watching Ride Like a Local with Belt Drive Betty. Welcome back to another episode of Ride Like a Local. This week we are in Grande Prairie, Alberta. We're at the Ride for Jacks taking off from Mighty Peace Harley-Davdison. And then the very next day we're at the Noize for Toyz. You gotta stay tuned for this one. I'm being joined right now by Jax and his mom, Krissy. And it's been a long road for you guys, a tough road. How rewarding is it to see so much community support?
It is very humbling to see how many people showed up today. We were hoping for 50 bikes, and I believe there was about 90, so it's amazing to see the community come together and support Jackson and all kids who are fighting brain tumors.
Do you like motorcycles, Jax? Yeah? You like motorcycles lots?
Are you going to ride a motorcycle one day?
How old is Jax?
How old are you?
4.
4?
Yes.
Then I'm gonna be 5.
You're going to be 5 soon. When's your birthday?
I like 40.
July 30th.
July 30th. And you're going to get to spend your birthday in Florida?
We are.
That's going to be cool. So which hospital in Florida are you working with?
We're going to go to the University of Florida Proton Center, and he will have proton radiation done there.
And that must be a very expensive proposition to get your whole family down there, have a place to stay, that sort of thing?
Yes, they will cover me and Jackson to fly and for treatment only. So everything above and beyond that is on us. So flights and accommodations and food and activities, and you're ready to go play? Okay. All right.
Well, we're going to let little Jackson go play with his friends and his brother, and
All right, be careful on your way, okay?
he's quite the little trooper, this one. 3 brain surgeries in the last 9 months. I can't imagine. My mother's heart just breaks for you.
It is unimaginable. It is by far the worst thing. You know, you can give someone your kidney, you can give them your liver, you can give them your heart. You can't give your brain. And that's who makes him who he is. Doesn't get any worse than that.
What would you like other parents to know that are going through this? What is one piece of advice or one thing you would like to impart upon them?
I always try to remember that it's temporary, that if we just got to get through the next 5 minutes, and 5 minutes after that, stay positive and have hope and bring awareness. And awareness leads to funding, and funding leads to donations, which lead to some sort of a cure. And we need better treatment, non-toxic treatment that you may beat your cancer, and sometimes the treatment you got takes you in the end. We need something better for our kids, so always stay positive.
I agree. Krissy, thank you so much for sharing such a heart-wrenching experience with my audience and helping to educate them as to what a family goes through. Like I said, my mother's heart breaks for you, my dear.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm being joined right now by my good friend Bill Antonello. He's here from Fairview. It's his grandson who has brain cancer, little Jax. And Bill, this is obviously your doing, getting the motorcycle community rallied behind your young grandson.
Well, my daughter came up with the idea, actually. Said she wants to do something to give back because she felt like they did a thing called fluttering where they take dragonflies and put them on people's yards.
Yep.
And they raised a bunch of money that way. And she thought that was a great idea to do something. And then she approached me and said, yeah, we bikers do poker runs and get together. So that's how we came up with this. And it's been a fantastic day. Yeah.
It has been. Mother Nature smiled on this day hugely. 20 degrees plus, about 100 bikes pretty close.
No wind.
Absolutely no wind, and even the bugs are cooperating. How the heck did you manage that, Bill?
We put in a pre-request, so it's all worked out good for us.
That's really good. So the goal for young Jax is he goes to Florida next month for his treatment, and then we're crossing our fingers that that treatment will be the last one he needs.
He's had 3 major surgeries. The last one was probably the hardest because of the scar tissue, and he hasn't got full use of his left-hand side yet, but that's going to come. And so with the proton radiation they give in the States, they don't do it in Canada. Actually, there's one place in Canada, then they're so far behind booked, so there's 20-some places in the States that do it.
Yeah.
So he's going to go to the States. He gets support for himself and the mom to go down, but she can't go down there for 2 months by herself. So this way we can raise some money and send the dad down and his brother, so his little brother, so he'll be able to get through the next 2 months, hopefully unscathed, and come back good to go again.
Well, that's what we're all rooting for, and I'm so grateful to have been part of this very special day to meet a very special family. You want to talk about strength and courage? Deal with a child who is got brain cancer and needs all the love that a community can give, and it really does take a community to raise a child, doesn't it, Bill?
Yes, exactly. And this is so underfunded as far as cancers go. The children just don't get the same concentration, respect, or support that like the others do, because they can't speak for themselves. It takes the parents, and the parents are usually devastated. So it's up to us.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I'm being joined right now by Peter Sellers from Fairview campus up in Fairview, Alberta. And you're part of the Ride for Jax. Why?
Why? Because it's a really good cause. And as Paul was saying earlier on, it's underfunded and we need to raise some money for it.
It's really devastating because parents don't get the help that they need when their children are sick. I mean, there's Ronald McDonald's houses and there's a certain amount of supports, but it just seems like childhood illnesses really don't get the support and parents end up feeling abandoned lots of the time.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. Yeah. My family, actually my wife's family, had a similar incident many years ago down in the Lower Mainland, and they were just lucky that they had the Children's Hospital there right in Vancouver that they were able to take their child to for support and for care. Otherwise, it would have been extremely tough. So,
well, it's wonderful to see so many Peace Region riders come together to help support this family so that they can all go to Florida together and make sure that young Jax gets the treatment he needs.
Yeah. Well, the specialists down there, and they got a specialized radiation treatment down there, apparently, which is something I don't even think is in Canada yet. And so hopefully he gets the benefit of that.
Well, we're all hoping so, and we're hoping to hear in a couple of months that the prognosis for young Jax is really good.
Exactly. Yeah, same here. Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining me, Peter.
You bet. Thanks.
Okay.
Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, home to the Cabot Trail and the Cape Breton Bike Rally. With some of the most magnificent riding and the friendliest of people one can find anywhere, Cape Breton is the runner-up community in Canada's most rider-friendly community contest. Visit CapeBretonBikeRally.com to find out why. Community Futures Grande Prairie and Region can assist small business with financing, training, and advisory services. We're here to help small business in rural Alberta.
I'm here at Mighty Peace Harley-Davdison, and I'm being joined right now by Jax's dad. Now, the Ride for Jax went off today with somewhere close to 100 motorcycles. Everybody's been enjoying an absolutely stellar 20-degree day here in Grande Prairie, Alberta. And right now I'm with Jax's dad, Kenny. Can you tell me a little bit about what this ride has meant to you as far as the moral support that it's giving your family? Dealing with brain cancer in a child is not easy.
I think just to see the community come together and how many people come out today and just the support from complete strangers, from Facebook messages to phone calls to every little bit, just kind of very humbling to say the least. So.
Yeah. Now, I understand from talking to your wife a little earlier that Jax was actually born with cancer, they feel, and it just took a little while for it to actually show itself.
Yeah, from what the MRIs have shown, they figured that he was born with it. So, and we wouldn't have known until the day he had a seizure.
So what is the prognosis for Jax? What are they going to be doing for him? Help our audience understand a little bit about what he needs to go through to be able to live a full and healthy life.
Well, I'm sure Krissy probably already mentioned he's had 3 brain surgeries in the last 9 months. We're leaving the 1st of next month to go to Jacksonville, Florida for proton radiation treatments. We're very hopeful that that'll be the end of his treatments, and we'll come home and he'll be cancer-free.
Well, we'll all be rooting for him and for your family. I know it's not an easy thing.
No, it's definitely been a trying time for the whole family. So.
Well, one thing about it, the Peace region of Alberta is right behind you.
Thank you.
You betcha. Okay. I'm being joined right now by a duo, both named Phill, both from Quebec, both going to Fairview College to become motorcycle technicians, both veterans. Are you guys sure you aren't like brothers from other mothers? Well, that's wonderful. Now this Phill lives in Comox, BC. This Phill lives in Quebec City, Quebec. And they both, like I said, are here. They get to Fairview College. They leave next week to go back home. Of course, it's not for the time being. So tell me what you've enjoyed about being up here in the East Region of Alberta.
Brothers in arms. Had a lot of fun in class. Having a good time with life.
And that's a good thing. And why did you decide to come out on this ride today?
Well, for one of our teachers, his son is sick, and so it was a good thing for fundraising money for him and for other people that have cancer and all that. A lot of people meet a lot of people. It's good.
It's a very good thing, isn't it? And what about you, Phill? I mean, coming out this way to end up riding in a brain cancer poker run, that's a little bit different from Twist and Wrenches.
Yeah, it hit close to home. My little brother's son, Lewin, suffered brain cancer about 4 years ago. Stage 4, they pulled a 4.5 centimeter piece from his brain.
It feels very good to do good, to help others help themselves. And the beautiful thing about this is this family isn't looking for a handout, they're looking for a hand up. They're looking for people to embrace them, to hug them, and to help them believe it's going to be okay. Brain cancer in a child that's under 5 years old, that's so hard to deal with. I can't imagine being that parent.
No, that's wrong.
Well, my father passed away a few years ago for cancer. When I look at that, and he's so young, he doesn't need that. He needs to be enjoying life like all the kids around. So.
Exactly, and that's what we all want for our children, is for them to enjoy themselves, to grow up, to flourish, to have beautiful futures and enjoy their lives. So thank you, gentlemen, for being part of this, and thank you for becoming motorcycle techs to keep idiots like me safe out on the road.
I'm doing this, honestly, I'm retired, right? So I'm doing this to help friends and brothers that ride, brothers and sisters that ride, show them that they still have access to stuff. They can still build, they can still flourish, they can still be who they choose to be. You're not limited by what people tell you who you are. What people think. Just be who you want to be.
Exactly. Absolutely. And on that note, thank you, gentlemen.
You're welcome.
Okay.
There's something about a community of bikers coming together to give back that is really important to me. It's really important to all of our board. And we have kids in need, and they just seem to keep falling through the cracks. So this is a way for us to make sure that we can help stop that from happening, I guess. An abundant community, we can look around and see so much wealth and so much money that goes through here. To have so much need is, I think it's sad.
Straight up, it's about kids and it's about Christmas and it's about toys. We're here to help kids that need, toys and other things. Maybe they're in the hospital, maybe their family's just having a rough year, but we want to make sure that every kid has Christmas. Nobody deserves to go without.
The Sports Camera Store in West Edmonton Mall is your one-stop shop for drift and GoPro action cameras. We carry Canada's largest selection of action cam accessories, along with video sunglasses, hidden in surveillance cameras, and more. Visit www.sportscamerastore.com or stop in to our West Edmonton Mall location, lower level by the bay. Voted as Canada's most rider-friendly community of the 2016 riding season is Port Alberni, British Columbia, home to one of the longest-running toy runs in Canada, the Port Alberni Toy Run. Bordered on the east by the Beaufort Mountains and on the west by the Pacific Ocean, the Vancouver Island Riders' Paradise, Port Alberni, is Canada's most rider-friendly community. Visit www.portalberni.ca to find out more.
I'm being joined by Dani, who is the president of the brand new organization, Noize for Toys. They're going to be filling in and filling the boots of the former Toys for Tots here in Grande Prairie. That organization ran for 34 years, had some challenges, and this is kind of a rebirthing almost, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We really believe in what they did. There's something about a community of bikers coming together to give back that is really important to me. It's really important to all of our board. And we have kids in need, and they just seem to keep falling through the cracks. So this is a way for us to make sure that we can help stop that from happening, I guess.
Yes, sadly, we do have a lot of children in such an abundant society on so many levels, and we do have a lot of children that do seem to fall through the cracks for a variety of reasons. We've got the Pregnant and Parenting Teen program that you guys support. We've got the hospital and the children's ward that always needs coloring books and all kinds of stuff. So it's a big need in this community.
It is, and I actually find it sad. And as you said, in such an abundant community, we can look around and see so much wealth and so much money that goes through here. To have so much need is, I think it's sad, and especially when we're dealing with our kids. Go into the children's hospital and see the kids that are in there, and it's heartbreaking. And if we can even put a smile on their face for a few minutes by bringing them, like you said, toys, coloring books, whatever we can do, I think it's really important to do that. And one of the things that we've done with the kids as well is, this is new for these kinds of organizations, is we actually have a junior council that is headed up by my daughter Avery, and we want to start bringing our younger kids in and teaching them about volunteering, teaching what it means to give back, how to run an organization, because you know what, we're not going to be able to do it forever, and we need to see that idea of philanthropy is constantly ongoing.
Well, and not just that, but think about it. Who best to help us decide what teenage kids are going to want at Christmas time, or what 12 and 10-year-olds are going to want? It's been a long time since you and I were 10 and 12 years old.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's really important for that matter. And I think another thing that we see that really happens in our society is that we always do a lot of talking about what kids need, but we seem to forget that we need to ask them what they need or what they want or what their input is. Today's event is obviously more geared towards adults as far as the ride and whatnot, but we want to hold an event that is totally geared towards kids. We are an organization of adults for kids, but that doesn't mean that we can't include them in what we do.
Absolutely, and I think it's wonderful to see that aspect coming into this organization right off the very hop. I think that's going to be vital moving forward. It's going to give sponsors a lot more confidence that this organization will be legitimately moving forward on a long-term basis.
We've been really careful to make sure that we stay very transparent, very open in our meetings. Myself and our vice president and our treasurer will actually be going and doing some courses so we know how to deal with AGLC properly, to make sure that we stay within the legal boundaries, I guess. Right. And also, not only that aspect of it, but also so that we know all of the options that are available to us as far as raising money goes.
Well, you can count on the support of Belt Drive Betty Media. We love our local Noize for Toys organization and helping our children, so we're looking forward to a long and happy relationship to help you market your events.
Well, we're really happy to have you here, and thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to doing more with you.
Okay, folks, we're only about an hour away from Kickstands Up, and we'll be back with another segment of Ride Like a Local. I'm being joined right now by Avery Chalifour, who is the president of the Youth Council for Noize for Toys. How did you guys decide that a youth council was needed for Noize for Toys?
Oh goodness, there was sort of just a day where we were all talking, and myself being as a teenager, I'm 19 years old now, was like thinking around Christmas time there's a lot of times the teenagers get forgotten. And not only do the teenagers get forgotten, but the teenagers are the people who are going to be coming up to take over this organization one day, so why don't we start now so that we can be ready when it comes to that time? Absolutely. And why can't we bring the kids in to help the kids?
Right on. And what's your name?
Cruz.
Cruz. So Cruz, are you going to be riding today?
You riding today, Cruz?
No.
How come? Nobody got an extra helmet to take you on a ride?
It's because my grandpa has to go to sleep because he has to work all night.
Oh, that sucks. That absolutely sucks. But we're glad you came out to support the cause and to see all the bikes. How does that make you feel, seeing people wanting to help kids your age?
Good.
Yeah? That's awesome. Well, thank you very much for what you guys are doing. I think it's awesome to see kids getting involved in this organization.
Thanks, Cruz. Joining, and thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, darling.
Let's go.
We're at the Stonebridge Hotel here in beautiful Grande Prairie, Alberta on a glorious, glorious Sunday morning. I'm being joined right now by Amanda Blakney of the Peace Country Noize for Toys Association. And tell us a little bit, Amanda, about what the goals of this brand new organization is.
Straight up, it's about kids and it's about Christmas and it's about toys. We're here to help kids that need, toys and other things. Maybe they're in the hospital, maybe their family's just having a rough year, but we want to make sure that every kid has Christmas. Nobody deserves to go without.
Absolutely. And so how did this end up coming about? We know that we had a Toys for Tots organization in this community for 34 years, second longest toy run association in Canada. We know that there's been some changes. Tell us how this came about and why you guys decided to fill that particular hole.
We recognized that there was a need. Toys for Tots was having a hard time, and we wanted to make sure that kids were taken care of. We didn't want anything to falter, so we stepped in and said, you know what, we're just gonna pick up where they left off. It's Grande Prairie. We have an amazing community here, and we want it to give people a reason to get together.
That's absolutely fantastic. Now, how many of you are on the committee?
Oh, on the board? Yes. That's a very good question. I'm going to say 6, roughly, off the top of my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you all sport bike riders?
No, there's sport bike riders, there's cruisers, there's a trike here today as well. Doesn't matter.
Perfect. Non-denominational, guys. Yeehaw! Well, a little while we'll be getting ready for Kickstands Up, and we'll be going on the inaugural Noize for Toys event.
Well, that's it for this episode of Ride Like a Local. I'm really hoping you can join us next week as we go to Two Hills, Alberta for the Run to the Hills Memorial Rally 10th Anniversary Edition. You're going to want to tune into that. We look forward to seeing you next time on Ride Like a Local.